Hi, this is your buddy Emmanuel MOTE. I'm introducing myself to the English guys. I'm a former France and Europe karate Shukokai champion. I'm an author, song performer, and composer. I came before you today uh, to settle a matter. You see, I've traveled this earth, the length and the breadth of this earth. I've seen many cultures, I've witnessed cultural trends going back and forth. I've read books, many books. I got college, university grades. I've read many books, watched movies, videos, but there is a phenomenon I've not been able to resolve to date. It is a phenomenon of black women disparaging, insulting, downgrading, disrespecting black men. Now, you might ask, why only black women and black men? Why is this sounding like a closed circle? Well, I'm going to explain. Because in every matter, you need to go down to the bottom. You need to explore the original causes to solve a hard topic like this. Well, everything started in the Garden of Eden. Okay? In the beginning, God created man out of the dust of the earth, and he blew a breath of life, and the man, Adam, became a living soul. Adam had to oversee the whole creation. He gave the animals a name, every animal a name, he was tending the Garden of Eden and everything was beautiful. But, at a certain point, he said, well, Father God, Yahweh, I've seen all the things that you've made. However, I've not seen anyone looking like me. you know, then God said, well, it's true. It's not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper like him, looking like him, make him a helper. Now, he didn't say, I will make him a queen. I will boss him up. He didn't say, I will make him a goddess. He didn't say, I'm going to make him a person that will be telling him what to do, what she wants him to do for her. I'm not going to send in somebody she's just going to run. Because Adam had authority over everything. He was tending the garden. He knew the function of the garden, and we can say of the world. Now, when the woman came, what happened? She was supposed to be happy because this man was a perfect man. He was not born out of a woman. He was made directly by God. Okay? So he was supposed to be perfect. However, when the devil, who had fallen previously, came for revenge, okay? He went to the woman because she was the weak sword. He found out and said, has God really said that you cannot eat of all the trees of the garden? The woman said, the story, we can eat of all the trees, but the tree that's in the middle of the garden is the tree of knowledge and evil. God says we shall not eat of it, nor touch it. However, the devil said, actually, God doesn't want you to become a goddess. If you eat of the tree, you will become a goddess. In a word, you will have authority over man. And so you can disregard the rules that have been set by God and the man to put the man on top. And that was music in the woman's ears. She went up, ate of the tree, and when she became evil, She went before Adam and tack, 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 shaking her beautiful hips and say, I ate of this, now you have to eat. Adam said, what have you done? You were the woman I asked for from God because I wanted your company, I wanted your help. Now what am I going to do? I'm not going to live by myself and leave you here. Bring it on, let's eat it. What else can I do? That's how humanity was cursed and cast out of the Garden of Eden. When God came for judgment, he asked the man, why did you say you had to hide because you're naked? Have you eaten of the tree that I said, you shall not eat it, nor touch it? And he said, the woman that you gave me, she gave me of the tree and I ate. Coward. When he asked the woman said, oh, the serpent gave me of the fruit. Coward. Okay? That's why women hate accountability. Remember that man was accountable before God and he accepted that task. But the woman never accepted that accountability. And let us remember that the man was made in the image and the resemblance of God, not the woman. The Bible said that God made man into his image and his likeness, but he made the woman after man, after the image of man. That's why 1 Corinthians says that the man is the chief of the woman, Yahushua is the chief of man, and God is the chief of Yahushua, is the head. Okay? So there is a controversy that has been going on ever since from the Garden of Eden. That's why you have been having this tension between black women and black men. Why? Because when a man is born naked, it can only be under a weather that is warm, hot, and sunny. And that weather is Africa. So if you live under the sun naked, you will have very specific phenotypes that will give you large nostril in order to ease the temperature of the air so as not to destroy the lungs. Okay? When it's hot, you tend to open your mouth for fresh air. Along the centuries, there is a genetic phenomenon that goes on to produce thick lips. Okay? Now, that's why the first man was black. And as the woman was taken out of this black man, the woman also was black. That's why the controversy is between black women and black men. That's why it's not white women or Asians, it's black women against black men, because originally the human couple was black. That's where it comes from. That's why this tension, this revenge has been going forward down the centuries from the woman. The woman never accepted that the man was created first and given authority. Who run the world? Girl, sir. Who run the world? Girl, sir. Who run the world? What is that? Now, people don't know that Beyonce is a very submissive woman with her husband, especially because she's in witchcraft. She's so submissive as to obey his man if he invites other men to have sex, ritual sex with her. She is that submissive. But when she comes out to selling songs and doing the pop things, she's seducing you so that you may disparage, disrespect your men, because the devil that lives in her is looking forward to destroying man as he always wanted from the Garden of Eden. That's why there is a controversy between the black woman and the black man. That's why the black woman has a system of revenge, has been disparaging, insulting, downgrading the black man. She doesn't even know why. You get into marriage with a black girl, she's not coming into your world, you coming into her world. She want to have her own business, so she does not depend on you. She wants to be independent, making her own decision because she doesn't want to listen to your views. She wants to be a goddess. She wants to be a queen. Where do you think that comes from? Exactly like Jezebel. Jezebel went into marriage with King Ahab for power. Who runs the world? Girls, sir. Who runs the world? Jezebel was signing the decrees in lieu of King Ahab. Jezebel, when she goes into marriage, she's married without being married. Sometimes black women will have a child in the marriage, pretending that it's coming from the black man. The black man will raise the child, pay for everything. If there is a divorce, she will take the house, she will take the child, she will take half of your fortune. Why? She doesn't even know why she's doing that. But it is Satan who has been working with her from the Garden of Eden till now. So if you want to have a sound couple, you better build your marriage under divine biblical foundations. 1 Corinthians 11 says that before we start anything, know that man is the chief of the woman, that which means the head of the woman, which means that God has deposed the vision of the couple in the man, and the woman should submit to the man for the marriage to succeed. That's how it works. If there are no biblical foundations in everything, it will fail because Satan will have his way in you. Now, I found a woman that God chose to scorn other women because they would not accept that from a man. Listen to this girl. Now, I found a girl that God used to scorn her sisters. You know, you have to listen to this.
Need a reality check, so yes, I'll be the one to give it to you. First of all, you're not desirable. Let's start there. You have horrible attitudes and you behave like animals. Not to mention your own men don't want you, and when they do sleep with you, they leave you, and you breed destruction because your womb is cursed. You care more about aesthetic and Gucci, Louis, and Prada than you care about your children and making sure your children can read, and at the very least, making sure they're safe. This is why they're laid out in the streets. And do I have to add that your children are killing each other? Amazing. Y'all are the main ones that promote dysfunction. You support Sexy Red as she sell your children yellow discharge and gonorrhea lip glosses. Do I need to continue? And then you have the nerve to complain about black men when you're the ones that's raising them. And when they raise children by themselves, they do a hell of a better job than you do. And then you have the nerve to shame black men when you guys are doing God knows what for money behind closed doors. You're poisoning their children. And you are just dysfunctional all the way around.
Yes.
And the fact that you think that your aesthetic changes your mentality is amazing. And if you just see how you and your children act on social media, in the real world, just all the way around, it is disgusting because you are disgusting. And do I have to mention that you guys lead in everything that is negative? STDs, abortion, obesity, single motherhood. And you think you're smarter than everybody else when you're the dumbest group in America. And y'all swear everyone wants to be like y'all, but y'all just really want to be like white women, which you will never, B.